Chatting about men's downhill skiing in just a moment. But first of all, Kirsty Muir has been in action, Charlie, hasn't she? Qualification began today. How's she doing?
Well, she's sitting in second at the moment.
So I should remind us all what Kirsty is actually competing in. It's slope style. Explain for those casual fans exactly what that involves and how she's judged.
The style world is how the whole thing moves together and the creativity that the athletes can bring to their whole run. She'll also be competing in big air, which is a massive ramp often, and that is where she's particularly strong.
Yeah, it's a thrilling event to watch, isn't it? Both of them, really, isn't she? As we expected, let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, she's much bigger than that, except the Olympic Games.
I can feel your nerves. I love it because it's that excitement of knowing there's a real chance and then not wanting to jinx it in any way, if that is even a thing.
Yeah, and there's a whole team.
So that final is on Monday. She does still have one qualifying run to go. But it is day one of the Olympic Games and it doesn't get much bigger than this, the men's downhill. Here are your contenders. This is one of the events that just is synonymous with Winter Olympics, isn't it? Blue ribbon event of the Games. And this is all about speed, Charlie, isn't it? It's basically fastest down to the bottom of that course wins.
Yes, from the start gate at the top, as they take on this course, it is one of the most difficult
to watch, isn't it? It's just beautiful. Talk me through the favourites then. Talk me through the key contenders.
Oh, key contenders. We've got so many. I mean, there's Marco Odermatt first up from Switzerland. He was world champion back in 2020, thrilling, and he's chomping at Marco Odermatt's heels.
Oh, it's going to be a brilliant competition. We don't have any Team GB athletes in this, but we do have an Irish athlete, don't we? Cormac Comerford, the Dublin man who grew up nowhere near any snow, of course. He went with his auntie to the only artificial ski slope in Ireland at Kilturn and started skiing at the age of 8. 29 now, and he's finally made it. It's his first Olympic Games.
He really has. It really is. And I'm going to be honest with you, I said it this morning, I'm going to cry if Dominic Paris wins today. It is a fairy tale that is just there and it's so close.
Going to be on the slopes of the Stelvio and Bormio, absolutely beautiful. We are looking ahead to the men's downhill.
It really is living it.
Do you know, it's so sad, and it's always that reminder as well that we catch a little glimpse of these athletes as they're doing their one run, and it's entertaining for us and it's distracting from our lives, and there's so much emotion and history that comes into each one of these personal stories to get here. So that's going to be such an emotional medal. And what about Dominic Paris? You said you would cry if he topped the...
It's a fairy tale still to see him.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Well, the first medal at Winter Olympics. Now, as I say, there are more medal chances to come throughout the course of today, and we've picked out a few key events. As an individual, it's fair to say, Scott, as it should be, Olympic gold, the pinnacle of her career.
It is
that style, because I find this intriguing. She was particularly aggressive at the start, which is unusual in this. Is that right?
Yeah, it's in that crash. That was a big moment where they put the pace down. OK,
so talk to me about that then. Unpack that for newer viewers to Skiathlon. Jessie Diggins, USA, one of the big favourites coming into this race.
The momentum that they had from that corner. So you're starting from... Basically, therefore, Jessie Diggins was out of contention for a medal.
Yeah, hugely disappointing for her, but delight for Frida Karlsson. What about her teammate then, Ebba Andersson? So it's a 1-2 for Sweden. Talk to me about her. 2-time world champion. It's obviously an individual event, but do we ever see athletes from the same nation teaming up in any way to strategize?
Each other, but they're also against each other. So it's not like Frida Karlsson, but they also work together against everyone who is the kind of athlete who can do a sprint finish and win. So it's very hard to say that, but Slind...
Hey, amazing. It's fascinating, isn't it? Getting all of the insight into the tactics of something that looks fairly simple in terms of the rules and regulations, but actually the dynamics within the racing and the race strategy is where the...
12 years where she got the bronze. A bronze medal separated by 12 years. And that is just the depth.
As they age, so it is a sport that would be favourable, I guess, to women getting older and not necessarily always a dominance of the younger competitors.
100%.
This is the first time that we've had a 20k skiathlon. So it was 15 kilometres for the women until now. They've added 5 kilometres on and taken 10 off the men's to make it equal. And I'm curious what you thought about it, because it looked incredibly brutal to the amateur eye, and I feel like it was so difficult that you come up with a new word to describe it.
Yeah.
One other team is in exactly the same position though. Who is that? it's the USA. So this will be their most challenging game to date, although it's been an incredible start for the pairing, hasn't it, Vicky? It's the dream start, really, to their Olympic campaign.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've started a few days ago. They've played 6 games so far,
Yeah.
and it's the top 4 that go through. Is that right?
Yeah, so it's a losers playoff for bronze.
So why does this game against the USA matter so much?
So it's all about ranking now.
Okay.
So
It's important. The psychology of it is important.
Yeah.
But why do they want the final stone for a start? I want to unpick all of this and remind anyone revisiting curling for the first time in 4 years why the hammerstone, why that final stone actually matters.
having the last.
What you've got to beat. Is
Yeah.
that what it is? And obviously, if you've got the last stone, you can knock theirs out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why does the colour of stones matter? I'm intrigued that you said that. Why would you want to choose the colour?
So as much as all the stones are a set weight.
One of these sports that looks so simple, doesn't it? It looks so straightforward. I know it's not because the team here stuck me on some ice in Norway 4 years ago, and I'm going to say trained by a 2-time Olympic medalist. It was just a taster session, really. But he thought that I was so good, Vicky, that I could take part in World Cups. And then he said, anybody could be good enough to take part in a World Cup. So that was me completely on my backside. And I literally ended up on my backside. It is so much harder. So they spared me this time around. And instead, they decided to send Joe Cole and Peter Crouch along to have a little look at curling and what it's all about. That's right. If you've never tried curling, you've got to understand how tricky those shoes are. Because I'd forgotten all about that. You've got one grippy, one slippy.
Yeah.
Why? Remind me what that's about.
So you've obviously got one slider so that you can
Easier to get used to sliding on both feet, though. Why do you need the grip? Because it's making
realize that it's completely different. So yeah, it's just a balance.
one foot on your slippy foot.
No, absolutely not. You're talking about a quarter inch when
Yeah,
we're used
fair
to
enough.
a full shoe.
Fair enough. I want to chat about the sweeping as well, because I find that absolutely fascinating. We'll get to it. But first of all, we're going to hear from Eve Muirhead, who, of course, has been skip of Team GB women's team for the last couple of cycles, really, hasn't she? She is now chef de mission for Team GB. She caught up with Laura Robson ahead of the opening ceremony. Let's hear from her.
I can't have you here and not.
Muirhead has been skip of the GB women's team for Vicky, and you've quite kindly pointed out it's been since 2010. I thought it was since Sochi.
Yeah.
But she was skip at the age of 19 for
Yeah.
Team GB. So
Yeah.
4 Olympic cycles. Another element that people are always slightly amused by. And it's something that was so much harder for me than I ever assumed it would be. It is so physical.
Yeah.
What are the techniques of sweeping? You said to me earlier, brush actually doing. Is it sort of ever so slightly melting the ice in front of the stone, as simple as that?
That's exactly what it is. So further.
Do you know, we were in here earlier with Charlie Guest, and Charlie was saying how she used to train in the same
Yeah.
gym as, was it you guys or
Yeah.
other, as
Yeah,
you?
with us.
And just telling me how physical your training is. So she was saying about curlers doing pull-ups with 10 kilo weights on each ankle and squatting. Handle that. I'm getting the Hoover out if I've got to sweep that hard.
I'm exhausted thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, it is an absolutely phenomenal sport. We all know it. We're all gripped by it every 4 years. Okay, how do we think this is going to go then? Team GB and USA both undefeated going into this. So they will both be feeling that motivation, that inspiration and that sort of momentum going into this. It's going to be a really important game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a massive.
Actually, whether or not the fans make any difference. And I guess sometimes it can also be a bit of a distraction, can it?
Yeah, it can be. You do kind of, once you're down into the stadium, the spectators are normally kind of a bit higher than you. So you are able to kind of zone out of it.